All right, let's just jump right in. If you, or maybe someone you love, is over 70, you've probably heard this incredibly frustrating myth. The idea that heavy, tired legs are just, well, an unavoidable part of getting older. But today, we're going to completely bust that myth wide open. You absolutely don't have to just accept it. In this explainer, we're looking at exactly what top orthopedic and vascular surgeons are actually teaching their older patients to reverse poor leg circulation.
So, let me ask you this. Do your legs feel heavy, swollen, or just completely exhausted by the time the afternoon rolls around? If you're nodding your head right now, I really want to validate that struggle. It is real, and it's exhausting, right? A lot of people treat this kind of discomfort like getting gray hair, like it's just something you have to quietly tolerate. But as you'll see, that's absolutely not true. Here's a huge reality check, and honestly, this catches so many patients off guard. When a surgeon actually sits down with you, they'll often reveal that the problem isn't your heart and it isn't strictly your arteries either. Actually, it's a group of neglected muscles in your lower legs that have quietly just, gone on strike.
Enter the venous pump. Now, medical professionals have known about this for decades. Your calf muscles act literally like a second heart for your legs. Think about it. Every single time they contract, they physically squeeze blood back up toward your chest, fighting gravity the whole way. But when they weaken, blood just pools around your ankles. That pooling is the real culprit behind the swelling and that incredibly heavy, aching feeling.
And listen, this isn't just some wild theory, it's proven clinical science. A 2021 study from the Journal of Applied Physiology found that targeted calf muscle activation dramatically improved blood return in older adults in just a matter of weeks. And the best part? These folks weren't running marathons. No way! They were doing incredibly simple, gentle movements. So let's dive into our countdown of the top 5 movements surgeons actually recommend to fix this, starting right at number 5.
Exercise number 5 is the gentle seated calf activation. This is absolutely the safest starting point you could ask for, mostly because it requires zero balance. You do the whole thing completely sitting down, which means absolutely zero strain on your knees or your hips.
Here's how it works. You're going to sit nice and tall in a sturdy chair with your feet flat. Then, slowly lift your heels as high as it feels comfortable while keeping your toes pinned down to the ground. Finally, lower them back down with total control. It looks almost too simple, I know, but you are literally manually pumping that second heart to push all that pooled blood right back up. Now, you might be thinking, if I do this faster, I'll get a better workout, right? Actually, scratch that. Speed is totally your enemy here. The most common mistake people make is rushing or bouncing. Moving slowly and remembering to just breathe normally is the real secret. Rushing actually short-circuits the exact circulation benefits we're going for. Moving right along to number 4, where we start engaging the joints just above those calves. This one is the supported ankle-to-knee flow. Research from the Cleveland Clinic actually highlights that gentle, repeated joint movements just like this beautifully free up the legs, making it super easy for blood to travel upward.
So, staying seated, just grab the sides of your chair for support. Slowly slide your foot back to bend the knee, and then gently slide it forward until your leg is almost perfectly straight. Think of this as a nice soothing motion to keep fluid from settling when you've been sitting or driving for way too long.
But hey, the absolute biggest mistake here is trying to force your flexibility, or worse, pushing through pain. Listen, we aren't testing your joints' limits today. You should move as if you're just gently oiling a stiff hinge. It should feel totally comfortable and effortless.
All right, we're at number 3. It's time to safely rise from that chair.
This is what we call the supported standing weight shift. The Mayo Clinic heavily emphasizes movements like this to improve your neuromuscular coordination. Basically, it helps you confidently relearn how to manage your own body weight.
Here's what you do. Stand behind a sturdy chair or a kitchen counter. Slowly shift your weight slightly over onto your right leg, come back to the center, and then shift over to the left. Notice how you aren't lifting your feet or testing your balance at all. You're literally just teaching your hips and legs how to share the load smoothly together.
Now, a quick warning. Avoid locking your knees or leaning your entire upper body way over to the side. Uneven, hesitant, or jerky movements can actually slow down your circulation. What you really want is to sway quietly and smoothly back and forth, almost like a grandfather clock pendulum.
Getting close to the end, down to number 2, and we're tackling a movement you probably already do dozens of times every single day.
It's the chair-assisted sit-to-stand. Harvard Health points out that when you stand up, your thighs, your hips, and your calves all contract at the exact same time. This massive coordinated effort acts like a giant pump, forcefully driving all that blood straight up.
This right here is what functional strength is all about, folks. Sit with your feet slightly pulled back, lean forward, and take a full, slow 3 seconds to rise up. 1, 2, 3. That slow 3-second burn is exactly what demands your muscles to work together, building tremendous circulation support.
But you know what the real secret is? It's how you return to the chair. Don't just flop backward into the seat. Lower yourself down nice and slowly. That slow, controlled descent keeps your muscles engaged twice as long. It protects your joints and, most importantly, keeps the blood flowing beautifully.
And finally, we made it to number 1, the absolute most valuable movement for leg circulation after age 70. It's the controlled heel-to-stand flow. The National Institutes of Health confirms that combining lower body movements is absolutely the ultimate way to improve your venous return. Why? Well, because it mimics exactly how we naturally move through our day-to-day lives.
This movement puts everything we just learned into one gorgeous, graceful flow. While holding a chair, lift your heels up to activate those calves and lower them back down. Then, bend your knees just a little bit and straighten up into a mini stand. By stacking the calf pump and the standing strength together like this, your circulation support becomes virtually bulletproof.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to remember something crucial. Getting older absolutely doesn't mean giving up control of your body. Being consistent with these gentle, everyday movements is exactly how you make your legs feel reliable again. So I'll leave you with this to think about. Which symptom, heaviness, swelling, or fatigue, is robbing you of your energy the most today?